So the hardest part about this whole vlog thing so far is definitely just finding things to talk about. I mean, I'm 2 videos in and I'm already running out of ideas. So I figured I'd do something pretty easy this video and just talk about something that I consider to be pretty important to me, music. It hasn't always been that way. I mean, for most of my life I didn't really care about music. I really just listened to the top 40s, what my parents listened to. Half the time I didn't even know who was singing or what the title of the song was. It wasn't until about 5 or 6 years ago that I started taking an interest in music and kind of going out and making an effort to discover new genres and kind of find out what my tastes are. These days music is very important to me, and I consider it to be a pretty integral part to who I am as a person, so I figured I could just use this video to talk about what I've been listening to lately. Now, I'm not a music critic, so I'm not going to be making these reviews. If I did, I could probably make the running time of this video rival Winter Soldier. I'm really just going to list off the artist, why I like them, and what songs you should check out. Now, I'm thinking of making this kind of a reoccurring segment. I'm just not sure what I'm going to call it yet. Probably something super lame, like, That's My Jam, because I am terrible at titles. So the first one I want to talk about is Justice. This is an electronic duo from France that I have been listening to almost non-stop since I discovered these guys. These guys are awesome. They just have this amazing, unique sound that is this blend of grand, epic, almost apocalyptic scale and energetic, upbeat dance music. It's something that I really haven't heard anywhere else. My recommendation would be Cross. Like, the entire album. I'm not kidding. This really is one of those albums that for the first time should be experienced as a whole. Not to say these songs don't stand up well on their own. It's just that everything in this album just kind of flows together just so well, and it really is just an experience. But just to give you my highlights off the album, those would be songs like Dance, New Jack, D.A.N.C.E, and Waters of Nazareth. They released a second album called Audio Video Disco, which is another must check out, although this one kind of divided fans. There were a lot of people that really hated this album because they were expecting kind of Cross 2.0, you know, another kind of raw, kind of aggressive sound. Instead, Audio Video Disco kind of goes for a classic rock sound. You know, definitely heavy influence from bands like Led Zeppelin, Rush, Boston, which, I mean, really didn't gel a lot with the electronic fans. But as someone who grew up on those bands, this album is just a mashup of everything that I love. My top tracks off the album are On and On, New Lands, and Civilization. Another must-check-out track by these guys is their remix of MGMT's Electric Feel. It's an awesome song, and I think it really serves as a pretty good introduction to what kind of sound you can expect with these guys. The second guy I want to talk about is from the same record label as Justice, Sebastian. This guy's music is just really unique and experimental, and it's raw, and it's aggressive, and it's really rhythmic. It's really energetic. It is just a sound that I really haven't heard anywhere else, and it is awesome. He's an artist that really experiments and kind of pushes the boundaries of what can be considered music. A good example of this would be the song Motor, which really, at its core, is just the sound of a car engine revving with a drum beat overlaid on it, kind of cut up into making this amazing, rhythmic, really danceable tune that just sounds awesome. He has an album out called Total that you should totally check out, with my top tracks off the album being songs like Love in Motion, Kindercut, Tetra, and Yes. Two remixes by him that you should really check out would be his remix of Daft Punk's Human After All and Uffie's Difficult. Third one on today's list is a band called Electric Six. These guys are easily one of my favorite bands of all time. They just have a really awesome and really fun kind of sound that the best way I can describe them is kind of surrealist rock. It's kind of this trippy and kind of different and upbeat songs with these really weird and kind of surrealistic lyrics to them. You may have heard some of their songs, but honestly I've never met anybody face to face that has heard of these guys before, which is really disappointing because these guys are just, they're awesome. Songs are so different and fun, and they put on the best live show. They just bring this unbelievable kind of energy to the crowd that is just mind-blowing to be there. The album I can't stop listening to is the album Heartbeats and Brainwaves. I picked this album up when I saw them live a couple years ago. It's definitely one of my favorite albums. It's kind of different from their earlier work. It incorporates a lot of kind of electronic sounds that really give this album really weird, spacey kind of vibe to it. My favorites off the album would be songs like Hello, I See You, Food Dog, and Intergalactic Version. Next one I want to talk about is another electric group called Disclosure. These guys are from the UK, and from what I understand, they're pretty well known over in the UK, but let's just say Deep House isn't really a big thing where I'm from. And I just found out about these guys fairly recently. I first heard their song When a Fire Starts to Burn at a dance club that I go to, and I was instantly hooked. It is just a very energetic and fun song, and I immediately had to go out and find out who these guys were. I picked up their album Settle, and it's pretty much been on constant repeat. Their songs are just so upbeat and danceable and kind of intimate, and really just great dance tunes. My favorites off the album would be songs like F for You, Latch, White Noise, and Stimulation. The last ones I want to mention today is a band called Call Off the Search. I have no idea how I found out about these guys. I seem to have at one point bought their album and completely forgot about it. Searching through my music library, and I found their album and had no recollection of buying it. But I gave it a listen, and these guys became a quick favorite. Even though their sound isn't terribly unique, it is still just really fun and energetic and just has this drive behind it that just makes it a blast to listen to. The album's called What Doesn't Kill Us, and it's not a terribly long album, only 6 songs, but all of them are absolutely fantastic songs, with my favorites being the opening and closing tracks, Train Yourself to Drive in Color, and Angels Today, Demons Tomorrow. So that was my music of the moment. I just found my new title. Let me know what you liked, what you hated. And why don't you tell me what your music of the moment is? Let me know in the comments, or you can tweet at me. That was today's video. Really hope I can come up with a topic for next week's. That might be a challenge.